Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. On this week on the Magic Roundabout, we've got a very old, it looks like an original, very old Dinky Lagonda. Here we go, in burgundy with dark blue seating. Dinky's Lagonda. So we'll take it off the stand and we'll have a look at it, see what we got. Yep, Dinky's Lagonda. I think you can just make it out on there. Lagonda, can't see a number on it. Yeah, I got this off eBay and I was really surprised to see it's got a complete windscreen and the steering wheel. And the tyres, my tyres are shot, they got to go. But yeah, and I thought I've got to have this. And the lights. Fairly complete, really. So, chuffed with that. So, you know, these usually come all knackered. I'm not... It looks like the original screen, and looking underneath, it hasn't been tampered with. And look, see that little slot there? I'll focus on that little slot. See it there? There. That's where the windscreen slots into there. And it just, that doesn't look like it's been messed with. And I think it's still in there. You can feel it with your fingernail. But when we take it apart, we'll see. It might just be that somebody's glued a bit and just shoved it in the top. But it's pretty rigid. So that's what we're doing. So, let me have a look, see. Yeah. Small rivets, so I'll probably replace these with Hot Wheel rivets. You know, they're Matchbox Hot Wheel ones, the small ones. Got a packet here somewhere, these. The tiny ones. Yeah, so this should be fairly straightforward. Maroon in colour, or burgundy, whichever you want to call it. I'll just check on the hub colour. I think they're the same colour as the body. But these look like they're more blue, like the interior. But I'll double check on that. This interior, I'm going to do like a royal blue, like a thing. I think I'll do that. Probably paint this by hand. Water some paint down. Paint that by hand, I think. It's a lot easier to want to mask it all off inside and everything else. So that's what we'll do. Okay? So we'll get all set up with the drill on that and we'll get these rivets out. That's a base drilled. So we'll see. We'll have lift off and see if we can get it off. See what's going on in here. Hopefully it should come off this end. Not too much aggro. There she goes, ping, straight off. So there's your base. Now we'll have a look at the window. There's the window screen. There's the tab. I can't. Oh, I see. Steering wheel. How's that going to work then? Get the axles out first. Now these just drop out to get them out of the way. That steering wheel's goes through there. I've got some pliers here somewhere. Get out of the way, dog. Excuse me while I grab the pliers. Let's see if we can. That's got it, I think. Maybe, maybe not. I don't want to push the windscreen too much. I don't want to break it. Ah, here she comes. That was resting right up against it, so I can just pull that out gently. Come on. I'm trying to do this so you can see me doing it. It's just still catching the corner of that. God, that might be it now. We'll get it out this way. Got it. Well, that's your windscreen. Yeah, I would say this is the original. Well, I'm no expert, but we'll put that over there. We get the steering wheel out now. It's a Titan. It's supposed to come out. I don't want to break it. I imagine it will be very fragile. I suppose I could grind the end of that off. It's very close. It's in there. God dear. I'm not going to be able to shift that. Let me get me gig lamps on a second. Let me have a closer look. Yeah, that's well in there, that is. Right, let me have a little poke around in there, see if I can sort something out. As you can see, in there, it's really stuck in there. Big time. I don't want to mess around with this steering wheel too much because it's very old and I don't want it to break away from the spokes. And this here, the centre, it looks like it's been hammered or hit somehow because it's got it's, I don't know if you can see, I'll show you. You can see, you can see it now, look. If you look at that middle of the steering wheel, I've been hit on one side, so it's really close to the edge. And if I grind that, it's going to be awkward to do it any other way, so take it completely, grind that off, and make a new one. But I don't know. So I'll think about that one while I'm messing about. Right, anyway, that's ready for the stripper. Got to just drill the holes for the rivets. And it's ready for the stripper. Quite simple, isn't it? And the base, let's look at these tyres. Yes, got a bit of play in it. That one ain't. That one's gone. That one's shot completely. Get rid of that. Look at the back of the hubs. They're not been painted, them. and the front looks like they are blue. You know, you can clean them up. They're straight, they're not bent. That's good. That tire's shot. That can come off. That can go. I should think this one as well. Yeah, that one's gone. No amount of hot water would have saved those. Right, so we have it. They can all go in the stripper. That's it, all in the stripper. And when I stripped it, it might help any gunk what's behind it, any crap what's behind here, to loosen off so I can get this out. Okay, right, catch you at the stripper. Okay, stripping time. Got our water. Drop in this cleaning tank. Let's try the old caustic then. Oh, that's coming off. That's coming off, boys and girls. That's virtually off straight away. Better than the other stuff, better than that flipping rover, I'll tell you. Now look at that, that's virtually just wiped that straight off. I've decided with the steering wheel, I was going to nip a bit of the end of it off, the shaft, and I'm going to leave the steering wheel on, and I'll paint it afterwards. I'm not going to risk ruining the steering wheel, really not. So that, I would say, having no shafty at it, is all off. I believe that was bloody quick, wasn't it? Right, let's go in the cleaning tank. Let's have a look at the base. Yeah, the muck's off it, the dirt's off it. Yeah. Yeah, it's coming off, but so that was a roaring success, wasn't it? Right, okay. That's it then. All done. Gonna give it a rinse off. Now for the clean up. Got the Dremel or the Wizard. Let's see what she looks like. See what she looks like. Right, 2 halves. That's the bonnet. Sort of back ending. running boards. Right. Okay. A quick look. Yeah, it's a bit scratched up. I might go over there with some wire wool or something. It's a bit scratched up in there, but nothing too bad, I don't think. I'm not going to go overboard with filling it and everything else because it'll add to the patina. But it's got no real big pit holes, if you know what I mean. It's just got like a load of fine scratches. So we'll get stuck in with the wire wool and see what it comes out like. So now the paint's off, we can have a good look at the casting. Nice headlights, nice grille. Looks like the starting handle area. It's got a nice filler cap on the front. Look, they're quite nice. Side lights there. Not to be mistaken with indicators because they're not the side lights. Nothing on the back, number plate. There's no lights on the back or anything on this. And in the interior, dashboard, that's it. So, I'm going to carry on cleaning this. And then you'll see it before I put a coat of primer on it. Okay? Okay then. We're going to stick some paint on the old Lagonda. I'm going to be using Ford Burgundy Red. Yeah, got enough in here for this. Something not very big. As always, we'll give it a light coat, and then I'll finish it off and lacquer it. We'll just get the fan on. It's a bit dampish today. Not great. Right. So we get under the wheel arches. Underneath the arches. Right, that's giving that a light coat. We'll get a bit more in there. Getting in between the wings and the bonnet there. Yeah, I think that's pretty much covered it. So, we'll leave that there. And I'll let it tack off as usual. And I'll give it another coat. And then we'll get some lacquer on it. I think I've got enough black to do the base. No, not now, eh? So chuck that away, shouldn't I? Wait while I'm done with it. Get it the right way up. That's it, Dinky toys. Nearly empty and all. Piece of black. That's the base covered. Now the wheels, they are black as well. So the hubs are black as well. I did have a quick look last night. So we'll do the hubs, the wheels or rims or whatever you want to call them. We'll do them black as well. Put them on the shelf to dry over here. There we go. Work it out then. That's it then. I'll catch you in a minute. Well, it happened. I broke the steering wheel on the Lagonda. There you go. Unfortunate. It's when I was handling it, cleaning it. It just came apart. It just came apart. Luckily, that the boss, it came reasonably clean straight out the boss. So we're now going to redo it. Steering wheel's flat one side, so that's not so bad. And the boss, it looks to be, we just check on there and just try and think. It goes that way, I think. Oh, I bet it's the other way, isn't it? That way. Yeah, so we're going to super glue that in. So what we're going to do, sorry you can't see that. So I've got my needle. This was the original pin that come out. That one. So I've got another pin, dressmaking pin, which fits in a hole fine. So I'm just going to put my magnifiers on for a second. And we'll just have a look, see. Excuse the paint on my fingers, I've just been painting the Lagonda. I'm trying to see where the things are. Right, okay. So we drop that. I'm going to drop the pins. Drop the pin through there. I'll put a little bit of super duper on it. Just a tad. It comes out the end. Come on. That's it. Yeah, hold that in place. Let that dry off. And then I'll put the steering wheel line up. And I'll put it on. You can't see that, can you? What I'll do then, when it's dry, put the steering wheel back on like so. And then cut the needle to length at the appropriate time. And Bob's your uncle. So I'll let that set up for a little bit, and then, because I don't want to muck about with it until it's completely solid. All right, I'll get back to you in a second or two. Okay, there you go. I did it off camera because I was just trying to line it up best I can. So I'm just twiddling around my fingers. So we'll let that set now, proper solid, before I muck about with that. And that should be a lot easier to put in. It's a better slide fit. This was very, very tight. If you look closer, you can see the... You won't be able to see it. Let me just stand that on there. You can see the marks on it. There, look, where it's been forced in. Okay, so we'll just sort that out and we'll be back in a bit. Painting time. So we're going to do a bit of brush painting today. Got my glove on. We're going to paint the interior of this by hand. It's not been lacquered yet, so that's why I've got my glove on. I'm going to paint the seats and the doors. I'll do it by hand. We'll see how we get on with it. It's going to be lacquered, so it should smooth out any brush lines. I'm using the this Lufthansa blue. It's quite dark, by Revel Aqua. I have the full range of those. There's some nice colours in there. I've mixed it up with some of the aqua colour mix. I find that actually does really well with this. I've tried water and I've tried other things, but this is the proper stuff, and it is good for that. So that's that. That's that. That's that. And I've got my brush. So I better put my gig lamps on. Okay. So we'll see how we get on. We'll see how we get on. It'll probably want a couple of coats on here because it's this is going on a gloss coat. Well, not gloss as such, but you know what I mean. So it'll give it a coat of this. And that will dry out, and then we can put another coat. And we'll see how we get on. See how we get on. Nice casting, this little Lagonda. I was looking on the internet at pictures of these. Yeah, the real ones. Oh my God, they are absolutely beautiful. Absolutely. I mean, God knows what price they'll be, but they are beautiful cars. Beautiful. They've got plenty of chrome on them and everything. Yeah, that's not a bad blue actually. That's quite good. I'm pleased with that. When you're mixing these Revel Aquas, because they're a very stiff paint out of the pot, so you really need to thin them down. You can thin them down with water, don't get me wrong, it does work. Or you can use a wet palette. For those of you who don't know what wet palette is, it's basically, a lot of people who use acrylics use a wet palette. It's basically, you can get like if you want a tray or a takeaway tub, and put a piece of damp kitchen roll or something in it, and then you can put your paints on that you want to use, and it keeps them moist. Because the big thing with acrylic, especially when you're hand painting, is they dry up real quick. So the idea is keep them moist, keep them damp. So that's what a wet palette is for. I mean, they'll sell you one on eBay and Amazon a lot of money, but the simple way is just get a takeaway tub, bit of kitchen roll. I'm hoping you can see all this, what I'm doing. Keep manoeuvring it round. Obviously I won't do all this on camera because it's going to take me quite a while, but you'll get the general idea what I'm doing. There we go. It's coming on not too bad at all. Actually, it's covering that well. I might not need to give a second coat. I might not give it a second coat. Yeah, it's coming on. Well, how long we got on here now? It's 4 minutes, 5 minutes. So, audience retention. Basically, I don't want to bore you to death. Excuse the dog again. It's morning time. He's been for his walk. Now he's, I think he's barking for his blanket. He does like his own comforts on the grass. But he can wait a bit. Yeah, this is a satin finish on this one. It says it on the bottom there somewhere. Silk, sorry. Ooh, nearly got that in there. Silk. Right, I'm just going to do this inside, just there. Careful not to go over the top, meaning over the edge. Carefully. Right, I'm going to leave that there. As you can see, it's coming on nice, isn't it? Look at that. It's got a nice sheen to it, almost like leather. All right. So, I'll catch you when it's all done. Right, that's it then. Interior, nice and blue. I've also gone around and did the hood frame for the hood. Dinky didn't do that, but I couldn't resist it. I think it sets it off. Okay. So that'll be done. I'll put the black number plate on the back there. I mean, these did have, the real one's got a bumper going across there, a real thin bumper, but this hasn't got one on it. So I'm not going to bother with that. Yeah. So the final details will be done after I've lacquered it, you know that. So there you go. That's it. So let that dry for an hour and I'll give it a coat of lacquer. And then we can move on to the finer details. Detail painting time. Right. As we left off before, it's all lacquered now. I put the steering wheel back in with a long pin that I had. And you can see I just put a blob of super glue behind the pin and cut it off close to the dashboard. So that's that sorted. The only thing different I've done that Dinky didn't do was I painted the roof. This is obviously convertible. The roof bit, I painted that black. Okay. No, they normally paint it interior colour, but I painted it black. But the rest of the car, I'm going to do as Dinky done it, out of respect, I suppose, really. I could go overboard and do the whole radiator grille, because, let me show you. On the original, on the 1-to-1, this radiator's painted right back to there, the whole cowling there. There's chrome down there. There's chrome here, along there and there. The running boards, they got chrome pieces all over them. The bumper, which is non-existent on here, but has a bumper across there. So I'm not going to go to all that length, I don't think, to be honest with you. I'll do it as Dinky did it, which is basically the front of the radiator grille and the lights. And there's 2 side lights here. So I've got the 2 weapons of choice. I've got a number 1 and a 000. So, I've cut my nails and all. I needed to do them. So let's crack on then. Let's crack on. Hopefully you can see me doing this. Well, I hope you're all enjoying yourselves. I didn't go too mad when the certain parts of the country were released from lockdown. Yeah, I always checking when I do radiators and grills. I'm always checking, turning it around in the light and just checking because you can see where you've missed. Because sometimes you'll be surprised that you think, oh, I've done that, and then you turn it at a certain angle. You think, no, bloody hell, I've missed a great big chunk there. Especially on radiator grills. It's always best to keep turning it around. A bit of wobble on then. I've got a bit of a wobble on then. Could you imagine owning one of these cars back in the day? I bet they were beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Absolutely. I bet you were the dog danglies, mate, when you got one of these. I mean, there was a big car, but especially in England, the roads were still flipping horse and cart tracks mostly. They didn't really expand them much. I'm hoping you can see it. I'm trying my best to keep the thumbs out of the way. All right, I think. Let's get a bit closer and have a look. There's a little bit up here somewhere. Yeah, like I said, this paint I'm using, it's getting old now, and it needs work every time I use it. Thinners, good old mix-up. It's less than a quarter of tin, so it's going to break my heart when that's empty. I have to find an alternative. You see, the thing is, using a Molotov chrome pen, I think it's got its uses. Don't get me wrong in this game. I know some people put it on with a brush rather than the pen because of pens, especially the small, the narrower nib ones. Flipping out, they can be well dodgy, flooding your bloody job out. But most of the silver paints, like your Tamiya's and that, they're metallic, and you don't really want to put metallic on, really. So I'm looking for a good silver, which hasn't got. Yeah. So I'm looking at the light. It looks like there's paint on the outside of there, but it's not. It's a light reflection off the paint. Okay, enough of that gravel. Get on, else it'll be another flipping long video. All right. Right, we're on 7 minutes. I'm going to do the other headlight and the 2 side lights, and we'll get back to you. Put the base on. It's that time again. Assembly time. Da 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 da. Right. Okay, so we're all done. Like I said, I didn't go overboard with the details, just the front grille, headlights. You can just see I've done the toothpick on the indicators. Oh, not indicators, side lights. Just a little dab on a toothpick. A little dab will do you. So, let's get this bad boy together. Now, the thing with this is, you've got to get this in. Right. It's got to locate in the base. Alright. In that slot. So it's sort of like you're going blind, really. You're going a bit blind. You've got to have a bit of a rake on it. So we'll stick these axles in first anyway. I'm just hoping they're the same length. I think they are. Yeah, we'll stick the axles in first. 1, 2. Let's just try something here. Right, okay. Now we've got to get this so that fits on that slot. So this is where it gets fiddly. Try to line that up through there. So it goes in. Hang on. No, missed it. Where have I? Let's try it this way around. Put that on there. Ah, that might be it. That might be it. There. That's fairly straight. I would say that's fairly straight. Okay, rivets in. Bit of super, as always. One there. And that. Bum ba da bum. Bum ba da bum. Do 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 do. So I'll try not to rest it down and push the windscreen back up. That's why I'm doing it like this. Compadres. There we have it. Dinky Toys, Lagonda. Right, don't run away and skip to the end. Just we're going to do some magic roundabout shots and then we'll see when we get some outside shots. So don't switch off after the magic roundabout, because there might be some outside shots. Just check. Okay. Just to remind ourselves what we started with. Seriously play worn Dinky's Lagonda. Here we go then. Dinky Toys Lagonda. This is what it is. It's come out quite nice actually, quite pleased with this. I was very lucky to get this in one piece. And I think I've done it justice. Being a really old corgi, being a really old Dinky, I didn't want to go overboard with the details and stuff like that and mess with it too much. Out of respect, really. I think it's come out really nice. There you go. Let it go around again. Yeah. Pretty simple restoration if you get one. If you get one complete, that is. Like I say, I'm very lucky to get this with a complete windscreen. And I still swear blind that's the original screen. It's done really well for itself. Right, okie doke. Just look out for any outside shots. So, I would just like to say, onwards and upwards. And I'll see you next week. And bye for now. Wait for it to come round. Do, 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 do. There we go. Drawing back. And